Joining me now is body language expert Dr. Luke Winslow, an assistant professor at SDSU School of Communication. There were definitely heated moments today, but there were also interesting moments that began at the very beginning at the handshake. Let's look. They get together. Here it is. Now watch. You pick up on something. What was it?
Yeah, there's a concept called the touch principle, which simply says that more powerful people touch more. So you see in their initial interaction, if I'm going to meet you, shake your hand normally. I can do this, maybe even this.
Right.
But that's kind of a power move. So if I was a subordinate, I would never do that to you. Now you could do it back to me if you had more power. So the fact that Trump not just shook hands, but also shook hands and went with the back slap, did this also at the very end when they shook hands at the conclusion. We could say it was kind of an attempt to exert some authority in a kind of a subtle, nonverbal way.
And we saw a lot of nonverbal in a couple of the different topics. One of them was Trump releasing his tax returns.
I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted.
That was a big moment.
Yeah. What we see here is Donald Trump and his media savviness. In many ways, he is well trained for a modern presidential campaign, a campaign in which most of the voters never really get to know him personally. They only know him through a mediated image, through a screen. So here we have quite a defense of an accusation that Hillary Clinton has made against him. But you can tell by his nonverbals that he knows how to work the camera. He knows how to get excited in his defense, but also kind of find that balance where he doesn't come across as disagreeable or unlikable at this point.
Well, the attention was also on Trump when the topic came up about whether or not he supported the Iraq War. Let's look.
Donald supported the invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
wrong.
Proved over and over again.
Wrong.
Whew, three wrongs
Wow,
right
yeah.
into the microphone.
So interesting pivot at this point. At this point in the debate, Trump has kind of lost a little bit of his cool and his composure, at least according to some of the Clinton surrogates. And you can tell by the way he interrupts her there, not making eye contact, just looking at the microphone and saying one word, wrong, 3 different times. And again, this fits kind of the persona of Trump, exerting some of his power, some of his authority in a way that's pretty non-traditional for a debate like this.
He brought up his temperament himself. First, let's look.
I think my strongest asset, maybe by far, is my temperament.
Yes, so this is really interesting. Hillary Clinton throughout the campaign has accused him of being unqualified for the office of the presidency because he lacks the proper temperament. So it's fascinating that he brought that up, again, at this point in the debate, where he's kind of losing some of his cool. He actually names the accusation that Hillary Clinton has made against him. And in some ways, he kind of undercuts the argument that he has the proper temperament, because at this point his volume has gone up, his gestures have gotten more enthusiastic, some beads of sweat are starting to appear on his face. And I'm imagining from Hillary Clinton's point of view, she kind of keeps the game face on, the poker face on. She enjoys a moment like this. This plays into an accusation that she's been trying to make about him all along.
Well, you mentioned Hillary Clinton, and as we kind of talk about this, let's just watch as she sort of listened to part of the debate. But there is a face of a person who's done this many times, has many years' experience. What was your take on the nonverbal?
Yeah, I mean, for both the candidates, there was not a lot surprising in terms of their nonverbals. As you mentioned, she is a well-trained, polished debater. You could tell that by her eye contact, by the way she smiles and when she smiles, by her posture, the fact that she didn't drink any water. She had a few touches of her nose, but nothing that indicated that she was nervous or fidgety. And that's kind of what we expected, a lifetime in the public eye, not necessarily as a reality TV star, but as a kind of a polished politician, and that's very much what we got here.
And you had mentioned that Donald Trump is very savvy with the media, but that is probably why 100 million people were expected to watch tonight. Super Bowl numbers, you mentioned that can be an attraction. Many interesting points.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Winslow, for joining us
My
tonight.
pleasure.